Hey, hi friends, very good morning to everyone. So, continuing our last class, today we are going to see some more recovery scenarios in Arman. So, the first one is how to recover a database if it is fully crashed, in the sense all the files, including the SP file, got removed or they got corrupted. So, in such cases, how we are going to do the recovery. So, let us go and see that. But well, before going for that, I am going to take one full backup of the database. Okay, so now the backup has completed. So let us. So I am now removing all the files, whatever we have. So I'm just issuing rm command. So all the data files in a single shot. Okay. So this is I am doing when the database is up and running, then only we can say it is a crash. Similarly for control file as well. So then finally SP file or P file, whatever we have. So that's how I removed all the files. So now we can say it is equals to a database crash. So how we are going to recover our database in this kind of situations. So obviously, because you are losing the redo log files and control files, so it will lead to incomplete recovery. So you cannot fully recover the data, but at least you will be able to get some data. So what are all the steps that we need to follow? So we need to open a run block, or otherwise we can run these commands individually also. So if it is less than 12c release 2 version, then we need to set the database ID as the first step. So from where we can get this database ID? Database ID we'll be able to get it from the previous Arman log file. So if you have any log file already created, let's say for example like this. So if you open that log file, in the beginning you will be seeing a line like this where that DB ID will be mentioned for you. So do remember before 12c release 2, if you don't set the database ID, then you cannot proceed further. But in 12c release 2, Oracle has modified this and it has removed this as the mandatory step. So even if you don't set, it will work fine. So after setting the database ID, then you need to say startup no mount. Now there will be a doubt like we have removed the SP file and P file. How come the database will be coming to the no mount state? Because if there is no SP file or P file, usually Oracle should throw an error. But how Oracle is going to come up? It is with the help of a dummy SP file. So it is not an original SP file. With some dummy SP file, Arman is going to start up your instance. So let us start it. So obviously it is saying that it cannot connect because the control file is missing. So we need to issue shutdown abort or shutdown immediate. So let's try with shutdown immediate. If that doesn't work, then you can go and issue shutdown abort also. So once you are done, then you can go ahead and connect to Harman prompt. So as I said, the first thing is because this is 12c release 2, I am not setting the database ID. So straight away I am going with the second step, that is startup no mount. So now you can read a line at the last. It is saying starting Oracle instance without the parameter file for the retrieval of SP file. So to retrieve your SP file, you are going to first start up a dummy instance. So now you can see Oracle instance has been started. So we need to retrieve the or restore the SP file first. So we need to execute this command restore SP file from auto backup. Okay. So it is asking to set the database ID. So let me try to set it. Okay, so here it is saying that no auto backup found or specified piece handle is not a valid copy or something. That's not a problem. So if we go a little bit above, so we'd be having the control file and SP file backup location and the piece name. So we can make use of this entire file and we can get to restore the backup, SP file here. So we can give a command like this: restore SP file from, give the name and location of the file, and let us try that. Yeah. So sometimes if auto backup is not working, then you can go ahead with a command like this. So I'm just updating here. So now you may get a doubt, like if I know that this is the backup location or the backup piece, then we can run this command. But what if I don't know the backup location? So if you don't know the backup location also, the things will be similar, because you can just run the list backup command and it will tell you where your backup pieces and all there. So just run list backup command. Uh, you might have this information in $views as well. So because here the database is not mounted, we got to know that. But usually in the log file, previous log file, if you refer anything, you will get to know the backup location. So we can make use of that location and we can give that one as well. So now because the database has been restored with SP file, now once again I will restart the instance so that it will start with the correct SP file, because right now the instance is running with the dummy SP file. So now the database instance has been started. So you can go ahead and restore the control file. So you can see control file has been restored from auto backup. So here for control file, auto backup worked. Then we need to place the database in the mount state. And finally, we need to first restore the database so that it will go ahead and it will restore all the data files and all. So restore is done. So we'll go ahead with the recover. Then finally alter database open, reset logs. So that's it. If we want to confirm whether the database was opened or not, we can query this. So the main important thing is, once you have done this activity, please take a full backup of the database once again. So that is about recovering full database. So new from 12c, Oracle has introduced this option of restoring a single table with respect to, with the help of Arman backup, whereas this is previously not possible with 11G or 10G versions. So basically, what here Arman will do, if at all one table is missing and you don't have a export backup of that and you want to restore from Arman backup, so what here Arman will do is, it is going to create one dummy database and it is going to restore the existing backup into that, and then it will take the export from that database and it will do the import into the original database. And once entire activity is completed, then it will drop the newly created dummy database. So just for the purpose of export and restore and recovery of the backup, Oracle is going to have this dummy database created. So let us try with that. So this is the current SCN what I have. So I'll just make a note of it in a notepad. Then we are going to drop one particular table. So now we want to recover that particular table from the R1 backup. So what we need to do is simply we need to execute this command. So recover table name until SCN number. Now the question is, what if I don't know the SCN number? Here you can use until time option also. So you can say until time, then you need to give date and time here. Then auxiliary destination, which is nothing but the dummy database where it wants to create. You can give that particular location. So let's say I want to create the dummy database in U02. So I will give that U02 mount point. So just to so you can see table is not existing here. Now I am trying to recover. So as I said, now you can see it is starting up one dummy database.
Pawan,
Yes, Sachin.
Pawan, I have one question. So this one, that the table you dropped, suppose now time is 7:30 a.m. Okay, so you drop the table at 7:30 a.m. right?
Hmm.
And when you say you're recurring from the Arman, so Arman backup, it's not 24 hours, right? It is from yesterday, right?
Yeah, it will make use of that backup what we have taken yesterday, plus the
Okay.
archive logs.
Oh, okay. So what happens? Like, suppose you took backup at 12 midnight, right? So now 7.5 hours of data, right? Are we going to lose that?
No, that is what I'm saying. With the help of archaeologs, we'll be able to recover till the point where we missed the table.
Okay. So you are going to do it now? Uh,
Because we don't have yesterday's backup, right? So you can consider this backup itself as yesterday's backup.
okay.
But the procedure will be same. Only thing is you will be giving time instead of SCN number.
So suppose if I give the time, you mean to say, so then it will record until 7:30 a.m.
Yes, exactly. That is the purpose of having archives.
Okay. No, this is a practical. This happened with me. So accidentally, I dropped a table in production, archive table, but then that table didn't have any data. It was just there was a deployment which happened like a week ago, and I accidentally dropped it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I had to panic, right? Because I went to the recycle bin, there was no table, and then the flashback also was not on. So then I had to contact my lead, and then he told me about that. Okay, there was no data. We can again recreate it. So I just wanted to understand. Suppose if there was data and if I had lost it, how much effort is involved in that?
Yeah, so it requires lot. First thing is space requirement. Suppose your database is of, let's say 5 terabyte. Then we require that 5 terabyte of space in order to restore your entire database. And then from there again, that what as I said, export need to be done, and then import need to be done. Like if it is a non-12c database, all this effort need to be done by manually by DBA. So when it comes to 12c, everything is being taken care by Oracle itself. But still, either it is non-12c or 12c, as I said, it need to restore your entire database. So already your production size is 5 terabytes. That means you need to create another 5 terabyte database in the same server. So that space requirement is very much there.
Okay, just to record one table, still I require that 5 terabytes of space.
Yeah, because until unless you restore entire database, Arman will not understand how to recover the table.
Okay, got it. So, but then this will. So, how much time will be wasted in this? Roughly, I'm talking about.
Time in the sense that's what like 5 terabyte, how much it would take to restore. As per my experience, I can say 1 terabyte approximately may take some 3 to 4 hours. So accordingly, you can calculate that.
Okay. So, okay. So when that is happening, we cannot. There will be a stoppage of right. There will be a stoppage, right? Because just to recover one table, do we need to shut down the database? Uh,
No, shutdown is not required. Only thing is you will be restoring the existing Arman backup into some other location. For example, here I have given the location as UDO2. So what we will do is Arman will create one dummy database in this location, and it will restore all the 5 terabyte, let's say. So that means your U02 mount point should have that 5 terabyte space first of all. And once it is done, as I said, 1 terabyte may take 3 to 4 hours. So for 5 terabyte, it might take approximately 20 hours. So then, if it is a manual effort, again, the time will increase. So the moment until unless it is very very important critical table, most of the times, as a DBA, from the DBA perspective, because a lot of manual things are involved, so DBA team will mostly avoid that. So they will resist to do that. So they
Okay. But there is no other way, right? So suppose, thank God that the table was empty, but then there is no other way, right? Because recycle bin there was nothing, and then the flashback was not on. There is no other way to recover.
exactly,
It's only through admin.
yeah. Uh,
Okay.
that is what, like, if table is having data and it is very very highly critical, then you don't have an export backup, or even if you have export backup also, that will not be suffice. So let's say you don't have recycle bin on, you don't have a flashback enable, so then there is no other way, you need to go with the same process.
Got it. Okay.
Hey, hi Pawan, I have a question here. So you said for restoring it will create a dummy database, right? So this dummy database would be just having the table data or the complete database?
No, complete database, it will have the complete database, but however, once it is done, the database will be removed. So let me show you the things here. So for example, here you can see once the database has been, the backup has been restored to that dummy database, then Oracle will take the export of the table, what you are asking for, and it will import that into your original database where the table is missing. And immediately, if the import is successful, you can see these lines that it will remove that database. So you will get back your 5 terabytes. Let's say if it is occupying 5 terabytes, so you will get back that 5 terabyte space again.
Okay. So this holds good for even ASM database also, right? So will it create another ASM instance and all those things, or is it going?
Sorry, I didn't get your question.
So if the database is an ASM in database, means it is having the ASM instance, so for that also it is going to create another ASM instance and all those things.
Not required. Another ASM instance is not required, but only thing is the dummy database, either you can have it in ASM or non-ASM as well.
Yeah.
So that's
So
okay.
it will create a non-ASM database. Okay.
Yeah, so we can specify there will be one line. So if you specify that clause, it will create as a non-ASM, and then it will do the rest of the process as it is.
Okay. Okay. Thanks for that.
No problem. So any other questions from anyone? So just to avoid this much effort only, we have that recycle bin concept in place. So which is going to give us some advantage, very much advantage frankly to say. So anyway, we'll discuss more about that at later point of time. So that's how we are going ahead with recovering a single table.
So Pawan, if there are a couple of tables, then you will just separate it by comma.
Frankly, I never tried that, but yes, it might be possible.
Okay.
So next we have block media recovery. So which talks about how to recover a single or multiple blocks in case if they are corrupted. So now the thing here is what is mean by corruption first of all. So corruption could be of two types. One we call it as logical corruption, and the second one we call it as physical corruption. So physical corruption will happen when the database is having, sorry, when the hard disk is having, uh, you know, bad sectors. We call them as bad sectors. So usually they happen because of repeated usage of the area. For example, to say, let me just show you up in a diagram. So generally this will be like the hard disk, and let's say this space you have divided into different drives, C drive, D drive and all. So generally this will be stored in the form of sectors. So each portion here we call it as a sector. So let's say you have D drive, C, D, E, F, G and H. So these many drives are there. So out of all these drives, let's say repeatedly you are using E drive. So let's say most of your data is present in E drive, and every time you are accessing E drive. So if you are accessing this one very frequently, then what happens is because your IO header need to every time scan this area, so there could be some physical corruption happens, like the hard disk got rubbed out, the disk got rubbed out, and it will create something called bad sectors in this E drive. And the moment it create bad sectors, you will not be able to see some data, and whenever you try to retrieve, you will get some error messages like the data is corrupted, etc., etc. So in such situations, if you have a full-time backup, like up-to-date backup, you need to get a new hard disk, because even though it is only one sector that is corrupted, you need to replace entire hard disk, and then you need to restore that backup whatever you have. So that is what usually we do if it is a physical corruption. Then we have something called logical corruption as well, and this happens inside database blocks because of some application code or exception mishandling. So let's say I have a block which is having header, and I have some data here. So as I said, because of the application code mismatch or whatever, that would be the primary reason. That's why I'm taking that one. So let's say something happened like two transactions or two sessions tried to update it the same row at the same time, and somehow one particular row got corrupted here, or some set of rows got corrupted here. So that might have, that kind of situation will occur. So here there is a logical corruption because only the data has been corrupted, but not the physical hardware. So in this kind of situations, how we are going to recover it? So either it is a physical corruption or logical corruption, the steps would be same. So we are going to just change, some word over there. So when we say first, if at all we occur into that kind of situation, we will be able to recover the things with the help of Arman commands like this. But well before going further, uh, when comes to practicality, like if you want to practice, obviously, physical corruption is very rare case that happens. And coming to the logical corruption, we want to do that. So using some OS level commands, you will be corrupting some blocks in the data file, particular data file, and then you will be able to do the recovery for that. So first we are checking whether any corruption is already existing for the database. So for that we can use this query, select star from $v database block corruption. So if it is saying no row selected, then it means that everything is fine. Then we are going to execute a command, validate check logical database. So if it is a physical checking that you want to do, here instead of logical, you need to say validate check physical database. So this is going to scan your data files and it will tell you if at all any corrupted blocks are there. So here you can see for each and every data file it will give you the information. What is the status of the file? If it is corrupted, here it will show you failed instead of OK. So here also it will give you that information, how many blocks are failing and all. Right now there is no corruption, so it is not giving any information. So next, to be on a safe side, because we are practicing it, so we need to take backup of that particular table space. In case if something went wrong, we can remove the data file and we can restore it. Then these are the commands through which we are going to create logical corruption. So you need to, when you are practicing, just change the location and the file name if it is different. So here instead of testdb, I have proddb. So this dd command, as I said, is going to corrupt the data file. So now it is done. Now let's again connect it to Armin and run the same command. So now it should show you that there is a corruption in this users01 data file. So let us go and see. So this is for system data file, then data TBS, sysocs. So when comes to users, now you can see here. So this is users data file where the status has been marked as failed because there are 10 blocks which are corrupted. So you can see the count as well here. So now we need to able to recover this one. So what we are going to do, we can get some more information from this select view as well. So it will tell you what are the block numbers which are corrupted. So with block number 4, we have 5 blocks, so those are corrupted. Then with block number 16, we have 3 blocks, and with block number 39, we have 2 more blocks. So altogether, 10 blocks it got corrupted. Then to recover, how we are going to recover or more information about that, we can get to know by executing this command, advise failure all. So Arman will give you some recommendation how you need to able to do the recovery. So now you can see it is saying that you don't require any mandatory manual actions. So, and you don't require any optional manual actions as well. So automatically the repair can be done by Arman itself. So which means we don't require to do anything. So Arman itself will do everything for you. And there is a repair script as well generated here. So let us see. So simply it will run this command, recover data file 7, block 4 to block 8, block 16 to block 18, block 39 to block 40. So if you just execute this script, then Arman will do the recovery for us. So either you can execute this script or we can run this particular command as well. Because already now Arman is having which blocks corrupted. So simply if you run this command, block recover corruption list, which means whatever the blocks that are corrupted, you are asking Arman to recover those blocks. So when you do that here, it is not going to restore entire data file, but it will restore only the blocks which got corrupted. So that is where you can see these messages. It is restoring the blocks from that particular backup piece. So once it is restored, then once again you can run this command. So now the question is, what if the backup is old? There is no problem. Why? Because Arman will take care of the recovery as well. So here if you see, after restoring the blocks, it is doing the recovery as well. So if your backup is old, then Arman will take care of applying the archives and it will bring to the latest data. So once the recovery is completed, once again I executed this validate command. So to see whether the corruption has been sufficed or not. Yes, now you can see the status of this U01, sorry, user 01 is okay, and there are no failing blocks as well. So this is how we'll be able to do the recovery. So very important thing is you need to have a proper backup. So any questions over here before we proceed? And again, to give a point, it is a very rare case that we face this kind of scenario of either physical or logical corruption. So we might or might not get a chance to do that in real time. So coming to the next topic, that is recovery catalog. So now whenever we are executing this list backup command, we are able to see that the database, I mean to say, like, we are going to get the backup details. Now the question here is, if Arman is able to give you these details, from where it is picking up that information? Because somewhere it need to pick up the information, then only it is going to provide you that. So this information will be stored in your control file. So your control file will have a separate section in which Arman is going to store its backup information. And every time when you take a backup, immediately that information will be updated to this control file. Now the question is how long the data will be stored, because daily we'll be taking the R1 backup. So like daily, if it is keep on updating the control file, so it will grow, the control file size will grow more. So because of that reason, Arman by default will store for the last 7 days, that is for 1 week. So you will be having this data. So if you want to increase this value, like instead of 7 days, you want to go ahead and increase this, then you need to change a parameter. So the parameter name is control file record keep time. So this is the parameter name, which you can see default it is pointing to 7 days. So we need to change this value. So to what value we need to change? So as per Oracle recommendation, this value need to be changed according to your recovery window. So if you remember, I talked about one parameter called retention policy, and I told you that in real time we'll be storing the backups for 30 days, 60 days, or 90 days, like that. So what Armin recommends is, if at all you want to change the value of this control file record keep time, so you need to change it, of course. So how you need to change it is, you need to take the value of your retention period. So let's say my retention period is set to recovery window of 30 days. Then it says you need to take 7 days extra. So in case if we are using incremental backup, because we haven't talked about incremental backup, just take a calculation of this plus 1 day extra. So totally you mean to say this control file record keep time value should be set to 38 instead of 7. So suppose your retention period is of 180 days. Then it is like 180 days plus 7 days plus one more extra day. So it is totally equals to 188 days. So this value you need to give to your control file record keep time. So that is how you are going to deal with the things. So this is, a specific formula that Oracle has defined. So now the thing is, either you change this value and the data is stored in this control file, whatever it is. Let's say you lost all the control files. So then what happens in such situations? So if you lost all the control files, obviously the Arman backup information is also lost. So to avoid this, Oracle has introduced a concept called recovery catalog. So what is this recovery catalog is recovery catalog is also a separate database, let's say database B, and I have database A where my production database is running. So whenever now you take Armin backup, let's say your Armin backup has been configured to tape drive. So whenever you initiate the Armin backup, the backup pieces will go to tape, but the backup information, like at what time your backup has started, etc., etc. So all this information will now be transferred into this database B, which we call it as recovery catalog, and that information will be stored in the tables, some tables in database B. So in this situation, what is the advantage is, suppose if you lost all the control files, still your Arman backup information is available in the recovery catalog. So just you are storing the backup information in some other database. And one recovery catalog can support multiple databases. Like you have n number of databases, then you can connect all these databases into one single recovery catalog. So that possibility is there. So this is the concept of recovery catalog, just to safeguard the Arman backup information. So then we have steps on how to configure this recovery catalog. So it's pretty simple. So let us take another database. Let me start the server first. So just to show the difference, I am taking this as a white color screen, and I have some database here. So by the name DevDB, so I can make use of the database as the recovery catalog. So when it comes to real time, usually we will create a separate database and we will make use of that one. So what are all doing we are doing for this? So first, in this dev database, or treat that as a recovery catalog database. So in that catalog database, we are going to create a separate table space to store this admin information. So once it is done, then you are going to create one user by making this admin table space what we have created as the default one. So I am giving this as default table space. Then we need to grant three roles to this user. One is connect, second one is resource, and the third one is recovery catalog owner. Then of course I am changing the quota, and I am giving unlimited quota on this particular table space. Then in that database itself, we need to connect to R1 prompt with the help of that RC user which we have created. So then we are going to issue a command create catalog. So here the thing is, uh, we have just created RC user. It doesn't contain any tables or views. So the moment you issue this create catalog command, Oracle is going to create the necessary views and tables in order to store the ARM and backup information. So now it is saying catalog created. So if you see, so just to show you, so it has created totally 318 different objects like views, tables, etc. So once it is done, then you need to add TNS entry of recovery catalog database in the target database. So in our case, the target database is our prod DB. So in that prod DB, you need to add that particular thing. So first of all, let me check if this is already there. So no, dev database entry is not there. So let us go to, okay, so TNS names.aura itself is not there. So then, we can make use of netca to create it. So let me take the help of, X manager. So well, before creating it, let me check the listener information here because we need the port number. So this is the listener entry and we have a port number of 1530. So let us see if that listener is running. No. So let us start that listener. So now let us create the TNS entry. So once it is created, test that. Yes, it is working fine. Now you need to connect to both the target database as well as the catalog database with the help of a command like this. So you need to say rman target slash, then you need to say catalog, its username, password at the rate of connecting string. So it will give you the message that it has connected to both the recovery catalog as well as the target database. Then you need to issue this command, register database. So once it is registered, all the backup information of this target database will now go and store in the recovery catalog database. So suppose if you want to see how many databases registered with this recovery catalog, as I said, one recovery catalog is sufficient for multiple target databases. So you can query this one. So you can see it is saying that this particular prod DB has been registered with the recovery catalog. So that is how we'll be able to do that for the very first database. So let's say I want to register one more database. In that case, these steps are not required because already table space, user, everything is there. So directly we can go ahead and perform this step itself. So only the very first time you require to create the table space and all. From the next time onwards, directly go ahead and you can register data. You can register the database. So that is what we have. So anyone having any questions? Okay. So let us see this one. So next we have something called incremental backup. So usually like in interviews also they might ask you how much time it will take to take backup of a 1 terabyte database through Armen. So you can say it would take around 2 to 3 hours of time. So now the thing is, for 1 terabyte, if it is 2 to 3 hours, then if the size is being increased, let's say it is increased to 5 terabytes, then obviously it will take, like, on an average, if you take 2 hours also, 5 into 2, 10 hours backup will run. So if the size is much more bigger, then the time will be much more higher. So at one point, what happens is, this when I'm talking about having good network, etc. So there are again lot many reasons for the backup taking time. So because network bandwidth should be good, and tape drive bandwidth should match with your server bandwidth. So many factors will be there into consideration. So keeping all that in good condition, it might take 2 to 3 hours of time. So if the database size is increasing, even the backup size will increase. And when the backup size increases, obviously the time to take the backup also will increase. So as I said, at one point, it will be like backup will run for 24 hours. Still, it will not complete. So to avoid such kind of situations, Oracle has introduced this concept called incremental backup. So here what you are going to do, you will be taking the full database backup on a particular weekend, like every first Sunday, every second Sunday, like that. And the rest of the days in that particular week or in that particular month, you will go ahead and take incremental backup. So this incremental backup is having two types, but let's go and see the diagram so that you will understand what exactly we are doing here. So I'm just taking days, Sunday. So what we are going to do is, for example, every Sunday we are going to take full backup of the database. And rest of the days, that is from Monday to Saturday, we want to take incremental backup. So Oracle will represent these with binary values. So where 0 means full backup and level 1 means incremental backup. So I'm just representing that 0 and 1 here. So every Sunday we go with 0, that is full backup, and rest of the week we go with incremental, that is level 1. So what happens here is, on Sunday anyway you will take the backup of full database. On Monday it will take the backup of changes that happen between Sunday to Monday. So changes in the sense the changed blocks. Let's say from Sunday to Monday you have 1 crore blocks that got changed, either updated, deleted or inserted. So those 1 crore blocks only it will take backup. If any other data is there which is already backed up in Sunday, so it will not consider that to take the backup. Then on Tuesday it will take the changes happen from Monday to Tuesday. On Wednesday it is same. So rest of the week it is same. So on Saturday it will take the backup of only Friday to Saturday. So again, when coming to next Sunday, it will go for full backup. So this cycle will continue as it is. So this type of incremental backup, we call it as differential incremental backup. So apart from differential, we have another way of backup, another type, which we call it as cumulative incremental backup. So let us see how that works. So this is what will happen in cumulative incremental backup. So what is there? On Monday, it is taking the changed blocks between Sunday to Monday. On Tuesday, it is taking both Sunday to Monday plus Monday to Tuesday. On Wednesday, it is taking all the 3 days. So by Saturday, it will take all the 7 days. Means one day, one by one, the day is increasing. The backup will be cumulative, like cumulative in the sense appended by the previous data. So this is what happens in cumulative incremental backup. So each one is having its own advantages and disadvantages. For example, in differential backup, the advantage is the backup size and time will be constant or similar. So on Monday, if the backup size is, let's say, 200 MB, almost on Tuesday also you will get similar size. Almost in Wednesday also same size. Till Saturday it will be of same size. So the backup time also will be same, because daily there is no much difference in the backup size. The time also will be constant. Whereas that is a disadvantage for the cumulative backup, because here the backup time and size will increase day by day. So on day one it might be same, like on Monday it might be same between differential and cumulative, but when it comes to Tuesday and other days, so slowly by Saturday the backup size will increase and the backup time also will definitely increase. So coming to the disadvantage of differential backup, suppose if we lost some data file on Friday and you need to now restore the database. So first you need to restore Sunday's backup, because that is the full backup that is having. And on top of that, you need to restore Monday, then Tuesday, then Wednesday, then Thursday. So totally you need to restore 5 backups, including Sunday. Then you need to recover and open the, or making the things corrected. So definitely restoring 5 backups will take some time. So suppose coming to cumulative, you lost the data file on Friday. Then you will be restoring Sunday's backup first. Then straight away on top of that you can restore the Thursday's backup. Why? Because Thursday already contained the other day's backup. So which means here the advantage is restore and recovery is faster, because it is having the cumulative mechanism. So like this, each and I mean both the incremental backup types are having their own advantages and disadvantages. But restore and recovery is a very rare case. Daily you will not do the restore, daily you will not do the recovery, but daily you will be taking backup. So that is why Oracle says differential backup type is the best one to choose for. But again, it depends on client's requirement and their advantages. So, but preferably differential is better than cumulative, as I said, because backup daily we'll be taking it, but recover and restore we will not do it daily. So this is the concept of incremental backup. So this I have taken an example for a week. Sometimes it would be for a month also. Like every month on first Sunday you might take full backup. The rest of the month, like the remaining 29 or 30 days, you will go for only incremental backup. So like this, depends on your situation. You need to choose an idea which one you need to go for. But as I said, this is for very large database, and if your backup time is crossing uh, more than 10 hours, then I recommend to go ahead and implement this. Suppose your backup is completing within 4 hours or 5 hours, then please continue going with the full backup, that is with the regular command. Don't go with the incremental backup. So anyone having questions? Okay, so from 10G to speed up this backup mechanism, incremental backup mechanism, furthermore, Oracle has introduced something called change tracking file. So what happens here is, whenever in the database some blocks got modified, immediately that block information will be stored in a particular file, which we call it as change tracking file. Any block which got modified, that information will be stored in this. And this writing will be done by a new background process called change track writer. So sorry. So change track writer, shortly we call it as a CTWR. Now, because of this, when you initiate RMN, already because the change block information is readily available in this file, RMN will directly come to this file. It will see which are all blocks it need to take backup, and directly from this file it will take the backup of those blocks and it will store into either tape drive or a hard disk. Which means you don't require to cross verify whether the block has been changed or not. Already that information is readily available for you. So just to give a quick example, in one of the previous projects where I am working, like we have implemented this change tracking file, uh, and the backup usually it used to take around 5 hours. And after implementing this change tracking file, so I am saying incremental backup. So incremental backup itself used to run for 5 hours because the database size is very huge. So after implementing this change tracking file, the time has been reduced to 3 hours 40 minutes. So from 5 hours, the time has been reduced to 3 hours 40 minutes. So we have a saving of around 1 hour 20 minutes over there. So that much advantage you will get from this change tracking file. And then we have commands on how to take the incremental backup. So by default, if you say backup incremental level 0 database, it will be your differential backup. If you want to take cumulative backup specifically, then you need to add that keyword in your backup command. So that is how the backup or incremental backup things will work. So it's pretty same. So that's how you'll be able to take the things. And to enable change tracking file, you just need to first issue the command, like, and you need to mention the file name as well. where you want to create the tracking file, and then if you want to disable it, you can go ahead with this command. Then I have given the generic Harman errors what you will be getting in real time, and what are the solutions that you need to go with. So one thing is like this, you will be getting a error like implicit resync of recovery catalog failed. Then you need to just connect to both the target database and recovery catalog, and you need to give this command resync catalog. Similarly, you might get this error sometimes. So then you need to just this is because two backups running at the same time, so you'll be getting this error. So you just need to wait for the existing backup to complete. And also with the with respect to some date format also you might get some error. So in that case you need to export the date format separately and then connect to Arman prompt and take the backup. And you might also get errors like this. So when it says that it cannot write on that particular file, you need to, if it is a tape drive, you need to inform your net backup team. So they need to go ahead and verify whether tape has been loaded properly or not. Or if you are taking into a disk, you need to check whether that backup piece is available on the hard disk or not. And even archaeologs. So if at all you get something like it failed to identify a particular archaeolog file, so you need to run the cross-check command. So as discussed earlier, uh, might be if you remove some archives manually at OS level, Arman will not understand it. So we need to tell to Arman that these files are no more available. So that is how we have the things with Arman. So anyone having questions? Okay, so that's all we have for today. So tomorrow we will be starting off with performance tuning and we'll be discussing more about that. So thanks everyone for joining. Have a nice day.